What's up, everyone? How are we doing today? Welcome back. As always, thank you for listening. I appreciate you all. We're going to hop right into today's question. I got asked specifically about my opinion on loaded carries. So things like farmer's walks, I'm assuming this is related to, maybe like a yoke bar carry, or I should just say yoke carry, an overhead carry, things of that nature, and my take on them. And my take isn't really a popular take. I'm kind of, I don't want to call myself a minimalist when it comes to training, but I really try and look at what the heck is that actually doing. And when it comes to loaded carries, I really struggle to actually appreciate them maybe. I don't know. They're one of those exercises that they make you feel like you're doing something because they're difficult. You're gripping something, so it feels like things are working. But I'm not really sure what they really do. You could make the argument there is some evidence that maybe stuff Stuart McGill has done with a single side loaded carry to be beneficial for core development and essentially how your core fires, but you could debate that. You could argue maybe some overhead carrying is good for shoulder stability. Again, debatable, maybe even doing carries to reduce scapular depression because you have to, not have your scapula depressed is in a dynamic fashion when you're moving. It's probably the best justification for it. But, or even just as a means to actually just increase, not like a finisher, but like a cardio or some type of conditioning because it is a total body aspect. And yes, we carry things in life, sure, but you're not ever really going to carry 500 pounds or whatever. I guess that's not even the argument. So I apologize going there because you can make that argument for anything. I just don't like them. There's the answer to them. They're cool. They're one of those exercises that feel cool. There's one of the exercises that look cool. They're one of those exercises that I just have trouble justifying compared to other exercises, right? Whenever we look at an exercise, you look at it in the realm of not just doing the exercise, but what other exercise you could be doing if you didn't spend your energy on the exercise you decided to do. And loaded carries are one of those exercises that have a very general purpose. Right? Maybe you might use it in a warm-up because it does get the heart rate going. It does have some total body activation aspect. You're walking, you're gripping something, your core is engaged. But is it going to be the cornerstone of your training session? Is it going to be some magical exercise that's going to evoke this, response that is so beneficial? No, and a lot of times you get issues involving, let me take a step back. You can see a problem in an exercise by how people describe the exercise. When they say, its benefits are total body activation, when they use terms that are very hard to define, very vague, very kind of nebulous terms, that's going to be a good sign that maybe that exercise isn't really that well understood. And if it's not well understood, then how could you possibly say it's that beneficial? If you don't really know exactly what it's helping, how can you say it is helping? So, do I like carries? I think they're fun. I think they're just fine. Can they be beneficial? Sure, maybe as a warm-up, maybe as some aspect of conditioning, maybe for a specific reason. An offset carry for your core, an overhead carry, or one-arm carry, or bilateral, both arms, not bilateral, both-arm carry, bilateral, right? Carry for, shoulders. But to say they're this magic exercise, I don't think they are. They're a cool exercise, right? They're one of the cooler ones you can do. I think from just a doing thing, it's something very primal about it. I don't know if that's the right word. Something very elementary about it, where it's just like carrying something, kind of like how the deadlift is just picking something up. There's something weirdly enjoyable about having such a simple objective, but I don't really know how beneficial they are. So, do I like them? Sure, why not? Are they going to be that amazing for you relative to other exercises, specifically when you have a goal that maybe might not involve the previous things I mentioned? Well, maybe not. And again, it's an interesting conversation piece, but for myself, when I look at an exercise, it always has to be not just compared in isolation. What is that exercise doing? Can I define it well? but also does the exercise itself get in the way of me doing other things, right? There is a cost to carrying something. It is not easy. It's tiring. Is that taking away energy from other areas that you could be training? And again, think about your justification. That's most important. And if your justification has very vague, non-specific reasoning, you have like, oh, it's just total body activation, or you say something like hormones, which is one of the world's worst excuses to do an exercise, or you say things like, it's great for general preparation. That also means nothing basically most of the time when people say that, unless they define what general preparation means. It's one of those things where you do it and then you retrospectively try and find a reason why you did it versus having a reason from the start. So that's kind of my opinion on carries. They're not bad. You can actually get a lot of benefit from them. I've used them before for a specific reason. But I think when I think of carries, I think of these, farmers walks with heavy weights and these, you've probably seen it before. It's kind of just more, it's a fun exercise, don't get me wrong. But more times than not, when it's for a specific reason, sure, why not? You got to have a justification for that reason. But is it just this exercise that's going to be magical? No, probably not. At the end of the day, no exercise is like that. But I guess specifically for me, it's one of those exercises that's cool and gets a lot of pub. But I still question the benefits a little bit. So that's my take on it. Let me know you guys. I don't know. You guys don't have to agree. But I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. As always, I appreciate y'all and take care. And look forward to doing more of these here in the future. So thanks and take care, y'all.